introducing absolute values. Now, absolute values are simply the distance, or let's say the amount in which a number differs from zero. Yes, I would like to put it that way. The amount in which a number differs from zero. Now, we don't care about the sign. That means most times or always your answer must be a positive value. So, for example, if I give you this to be our number line, the midpoint is actually 0. To the right, you have positive value. So let's pick a 2 here. Sorry, to the right, you have positive 2. To the left, you have a negative 2. Now, the distance from 0 to 2, or the difference between 0 and 2 is actually 2. Now, the distance from minus 2 to 0, or the difference between minus 2 and 0 is actually 2. So you can see that the absolute value of 2 is equal to 2. The absolute value of minus 2 is also equal to 2. So when dealing with absolute value, we don't usually have negative answers. It's how much that number differs from 0. Now, you might see something like this on your textbook, or you must have come across this. So this is defining a function in different ways. So when you have a function, if a function can give you several values, this is how you define it. So what this simply means is that the absolute value of x, which we are talking about, will always be equal to x when x is greater than 0. I repeat, absolute value of x will always be equal to x when x is greater than 0. So let's pick a number greater than 0, like 2. The absolute value of 2 is equal to 2. So that's that for this. Then the absolute value of x will be equal to minus x if x is less than 0. X is less than 0 simply means that x is a negative value. So the absolute value of minus 2, we just said is what? Minus whatever is inside here. Absolute value of x is minus whatever is here if what is here is negative. So the absolute value of minus 2 will not be minus 2. However, it will be minus what you have there, and that will also give you 2. So you can see that the definition of absolute value still holds. Lastly, the absolute value of x is 0 if x is equal to 0. So the absolute value of 0 is equal to what? 0. Remember, 0 is neither positive nor negative. Now, if you see a question in this form, absolute value of x is equal to a, you have to solve. So you first of all assume if x is greater than 0. X is an unknown, we don't know if it's greater than 0. So if x is greater than 0, the absolute value of x will be equal to x, and that will be equal to a. So this is one of the answers. Then we also assume if x is less than 0. If x is less than 0, the absolute value of x will be what? Negative x, which will also be equal to a. So therefore, x will be equal to minus a. So the solution to this question is x is equal to a or minus a. So if I put a here, absolute value of a will give me a. If I put a minus a here, absolute value of minus a will give me a. Now let's bring out another question. You have something like this: x minus 2 is equal to 7. Absolute value of x minus 2 is equal to 7. First of all, you assume that x minus 2 is greater than 0. That simply means x minus 2 is a positive value. We don't know the value of x, so x can be positive. Sorry, we don't know the value of x, so therefore x minus 2 can be positive or negative. If x is greater than 2, everything here will be a positive value. If x is less than 2, everything here will be a negative value. So let's assume that x minus 2 will give us a positive answer. So in that case, the absolute value of x minus 2 will remain x minus 2, and this will be equal to 7. So in this case, x is equal to 9. So you can put that here. 9 minus 2 is equal to 7. Very correct. Now, if x minus 2 is less than 0, if x minus 2 is less than 0, the absolute value of x minus 2 will now be negative x minus 2. That means if x minus 2 is negative, the absolute value of x minus 2 will be negative x minus 2. So this will also be equal to 7. So if I multiply both sides by minus 1, x minus 2 will be equal to negative 7. So x will be equal to negative 7 plus 2. That is negative 5. Now let's check if that is correct. put your minus 5 here. Your minus 5 minus 2 is minus 7. Absolute value of minus 7 is equal to 7. So the solution to this question is S is equal to 9 or minus 5. So this is how you tackle questions when giving absolute value of a number to be equal to absolute value of an unknown to be equal to a number. Next video we'll be looking at absolute value to be greater than a number, then absolute value to be less than a number. See you guys in my next video.